Welcome back, guys, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut Angler. You know, as I'm filming this, it is mid-August, and it is about high time that I get out here and produce a river smallmouth episode for you guys. I did it last year. A lot of you guys enjoyed that episode. I really enjoy fishing for smallmouth, and it's a great outlet for being able to continue fishing in the summertime when the vast majority, if not almost all, of Connecticut rivers have grown too hot for trout fishing, or at least too hot for trout fishing outside of, you know, the wee hours of the morning or the late hours of the evening. Smallmouth can thrive in temperatures that trout struggle in, and so they're a great species to switch over to in the dog days of summer, so to speak. And that's why I'm out here on the Naugatuck River to see if I can't dig up some of these smallies. So real quick, what kind of gear am I going to be using? Got my 5-weight here. So 5-weight floating line. I'm going to be starting out with a chartreuse and white clouser, and we'll see how it goes. See if we bump into any fish. Let's do it. I've got this tied on with a loop knot. Now, I mentioned that sometimes in my videos, and I've had a couple people mention to me, like, what's the deal with the loop knot? Like, why do you use a loop knot to begin with, and why is it that you use it sometimes and not other times? Well, a loop knot, I don't know if you can see it too well here, but a loop knot is basically just a knot where the actual knot itself doesn't snug up against the eye of the hook. Instead, it kind of snugs up at some point on the line above the eye of the hook, so that you have the fly on a loop. Now, this allows the fly to move around, the streamer to move around a whole lot more. Now, I usually only use it on streamers, and I only usually use it if I'm using at least 3x tippet. The reason for that is, in my personal experience, loop knots have a tendency to fail a little more often when you're talking about like 5x tippet. Okay, guys. This is kind of the first pool here. Let's see what I can find. Oh, I already hit a tree. Oh yeah, this clouser's riding nice. Cool. Oh, we already had a little smallie following it. I see him right in front of me here. I just don't want to hit that tree again. Oh, got one already. Yeah. Saw him rush out of nowhere and gulp that thing. That was quick. I mean, this is not a gargantuan bass, but it's not tiny either. Not too bad for the Noggy. Not too bad. All right. I mean, especially when you consider that I made, what, 2 casts? 3 casts? He's actually already kicked that clouser, so I barely had him hooked. I'm pretty sure I tried to do a trout set in this guy, which, as we know, is just bad news. But yeah, nice little bronzeback from the Noggy here. All right, guys. I mean, wow. Not even 5 casts in, we've gotten our first fish, our first taker on the clouser minnow here. Just awesome. And I can only cross my fingers that this is a preview of what I can look forward to for the rest of the outing, because we have quite a bit of water to cover here. I've gotten some nice fish out of this water. If this is one of those days when they're really turned on and they're really biting, we can enjoy quite a few fish today. So let's get right back to it, see what we can do. Ooh, got some smallies in front of me here. Ooh, something picked it up and was running with it. Now, I notice a lot of these smallies do this sometimes. They'll pick up these streamers so gingerly, and sort of just, you know, they'll grab them by like the back of those bucktail fibers and just slowly start to row them away with them. And it can be really challenging sometimes because of this behavior that they occasionally have. It can be really challenging to get a good hook set. I don't know why it is that the fish in this part of the river tend to do that. But there's also days that I've been here that they don't do that, where they hit very aggressively. You know, so what exactly is it that's causing them to be so sort of, I don't know, timid on some days? I don't really know. All right, guys. Starting kind of a trek upstream here. The next 100 feet from where I was just fishing, extremely shallow, like 6 inches deep. Water is definitely moving at a good clip over that shallow area, but I'm not going to find any bass there for certain. So we're pushing forward here till we can find some deeper water that could be holding some of these smallies. But you can see, you know, this is just the reality of the summertime flows on many parts of the Naugatuck. There's going to be a lot of stretches you're just going to kind of have to walk through where there's not going to be a single fish. It's going to be very wadeable this time of year, which is one of the awesome things about fishing the central stretches of the Naugatuck in mid to late summer. Very wadeable. There's almost nowhere you can't walk in this section of the river. And so, you know, yeah, you're gonna hit these shallow areas, walk right through them until you get to the next area that looks nice. Simple as that. Okay, kind of moved out right to the middle of the river here. For sure, there's this giant, I don't know if it's a giant tree or a telephone pole. It's really hard to tell. Just lodged in the middle of the riverbed here. It is not a tree. I think this is actually a giant pipe. It's not connected to anything, just a discarded pipe, I guess. Huh. Anyhow, getting sidetracked. This is all that deeper water over here, so I'm gonna fish to it from the middle of the river. Got one. Wow, nice. All right. This is not a huge fish, but also not a tiny one. Also not a tiny one. Whoa, oh, he's bringing me under that pipe. Shoot, I'm under the pipe. Oh, I got him out. Yes. Oh, he's bringing me back under the pipe again. Oh, this is a beautiful bronzeback here. Beautiful fish. Again, not huge, but very pretty fish. All right. Look at the patterning on this guy. Excellent. Much darker coloration than those last fish. And he gulped that clouser. He hit it a couple times actually. I missed him the first time and he came right back and took it without hesitation. It's funny, I mean, these fish just have so much raw energy and they're so well adapted to the warmer water as compared to trout. I mean, you know, you catch these fish, they fight like hell on the way in and they still have all of the energy in the world to just dart right back out there. The clouser is kind of falling apart on me. I apparently did not tie this very well. You'd think I just started tying these yesterday. So real quick, guys, you know, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but yeah, I mean, I am on the central stretches of the Naugatuck. In fact, I am in the city of Waterbury. And, you know, as you can see, if you kind of look along the other bank of the river here, just buildings, some in use, some abandoned, smokestacks, crumbling. I mean, this is a city, post-industrial city. And I think a lot of people believe that the Naugatuck in this area really can't sustain life. Nothing could be further from the truth, guys. That being said, you know, could bass have lived here 20, 30, 40 years ago? They would have had a much harder time, for sure, but the river has certainly improved within my lifetime, no question about it. And these smallmouth have really taken hold here. There's a ton of them. They may not be big, but there's a ton of them. Okay. Now, it seems to me like there's a pretty fast-moving channel that runs right along this bin wall here. Yep, got one. Pretty fast-moving channel that runs right along the bin wall there. So that's what I targeted with that cast. That was the first time I targeted it. And already we got ourselves a fish. Small one. But a sign of life. go. They are tearing up this poor little clouser. Well, this is kind of interesting. Here we have the abutments and a pier from a bridge that apparently has long gone missing. Interesting. Oh gosh. Wow. Had yet another, oh, it took me under a pipe there. Had yet another line fumble there, which has been way too common. I've kind of figured out why I'm sucking even more than usual at casting. I'll go over that in just a minute. But yeah, a little smallie. So the reason I'm really having trouble here is I'm having to keep my grip on the line way too loose, because I haven't reconditioned my line in a while, and it's not very slick at all. So I'm being forced to kind of keep my hand a lot looser on the line than I ideally would prefer to. And what that's leading to is a lot of instances where the line is just coming out of my hand, and I'm getting these really badly botched up casts. I'm lucky to be catching anything with how many of these casts I've blown. Oh, we got a little fish here. What is this? A little smallie? Yep. What is this? Is this a fish? What the hell did I just hook? What freaking piece of garbage did I just hook? A full Capri Sun. And I'm guessing this was already drank and is just refilled with water. Well guys, I'm running out of time. I just know that it's going to take me a while to hike back, and kind of have to factor that in. So, I think maybe this pool up here is going to be the last one that we hit. This is kind of an interesting looking area here. We have, I don't really even know what to make of this. I mean, we have a bridge that goes over the river here, but we also have, I don't really know what these are. These platforms that go into, jut out into the river, which don't, from here, look like bridges exactly. They almost look like docks, but that's definitely not what they are. I mean, they're suspended a good 20 feet over the river, so I don't really know. Got one. Oh, slung him. Oh, good Lord. Fish just started to run with it the moment it touched down. Oh, wow. Not a huge fish. Probably comparable to the larger one we got this morning, though. Some nice acrobatics out of him. Just awesome. All right.
What kind of perch?
Nah, smallmouth bass. Yeah. So I didn't do much narrating with that fish, because about the moment that I brought it to hand, I noticed that there was actually some guys up there on that bridge that were watching. They were pretty impressed that anything lived in here. Again, that's the reaction I seem to get every time that I mention fish in the Naugatuck River. There's this idea that just nothing lives in here. You know, of course I let them know. As I'm letting you guys know, there's a lot that lives in here. There's thousands of these smallmouth in here, guys. But yeah, that was a nice fish. This is still a pretty big pool that we have left to fish, and I'm going to fish it all before we get going and start heading back, because it's pretty deep here. So we may get a couple more. another taker. Wow, these things hit so hard. And like you see the fish that, you know, and it's you know, they're what, like foot long smallies. But God. Oh gosh, so much energy. Oh gosh. So again, got one. Ooh, this is a nicer one. This is a nicer one. Okay, okay. Yeah, this fish got a little bit of bite to him. Get this guy to the reel. I don't think he's huge, but this might be the nicest one of the day right here. Okay, okay. Yeah, nice fish. Nice fish. Okay. Definitely nicest fish of the day, hands down. Hands down, nicest fish of the day. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what, guys? This is actually a pretty nice fish. Pretty damn nice fish. Let's get him in here. Let's get him in. Yeah, all right. Nice fish. Beautiful fish. Okay. All right, guys. Check that out. Not bad. Not bad at all. This is the kind of fish I was really trying to get. You know, at least one fish of this caliber today. And we were finally able to do it. Awesome. That is what I am talking about. All right, guys. Now that was the sort of fish I was trying to get into before we wrapped it up here for the day. Such a beautiful fish. Now, I don't think it quite hit that 2-pound mark, but it was close. It was close. It's certainly in the higher tier for what I would expect in the central stretches of the Naugatuck here. Beautiful fish. Hell of a fight. Just awesome, guys. Just awesome. I would be remiss not to finish fishing this area, but like I said, I am really skimped for time. So I'm gonna take another 5 or 10 minutes here, finish blanketing this area, see if this guy has a brother or a sister of the same size or bigger wandering around out there. Really bombed it out there under that dock thing. Oh! Not a monster, but it's certainly an acrobat. There we go. Taking some of my bucktail fibers there with it. Well, folks, I think this just about wraps up my stint here on the Naugatuck. Such a privilege to be able to finish out the day with that hell of a chunker smallie. That's really what I was going after. So I was hoping I'd be able to show you guys today. Believe me, it doesn't always work out according to plan. So it's nice when it does go exactly as I was hoping it would. I have quite a walk ahead of me here. So I better get going. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Streamer fly fishing for smallies out here on an urban stretch of the Naugatuck River. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you like what I'm doing out here and want to see more. I'll see you guys next time.